Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Get Real About Love. My name is Renee Piane, and I am committed to inspiring people worldwide. And it is the month of love. You can see I have love pillows, heart pillows. Even someone gave me this beautiful scarf a few years ago, which I love so much. And my goal today is to give you an inspiring story from two people that are so special and they're so in love and they're very spicy. They're very, very spicy, right? So they have this amazing story, and I wanted to introduce you to this amazing couple, Victoria and James Partier. How do you say your last name? It's such a beautiful name. How do you say it?
Cartier.
Partier.
That
So
sounds
these
right.
people
That sounds
are so incredible. So welcome to Get Real About Love, and I really appreciate you coming today to bring some of your love and light to other people that are lonely. It's Valentine's season. Many people that are 40, 50, 60s don't believe that love exists at that age and they give up. And I know you guys found each other in your later years. And so I wanted, to have you tell us your story. So who wants to start? Because you guys both have such great, stories. So how about you, Victoria? Why don't you say how this whole beautiful
Well, I had, like you were mentioning, I had actually given up because I had tried some online dating and etc. And I was very open to finding someone, but it wasn't working. So I finally decided I have enough love in my life because I have all these nieces and nephews,
Mhm.
that aren't really blood relatives, but they're like my family. And I
Yes.
thought, well, I get a lot of love from that. They all had babies. So I had, and then someone invited me to go to a dinner party in Malibu.
Mhm.
And the party was on a balcony, I mean, on a wonderful platform with a view of the ocean. And I said, "Oh, I'm there. I'm there. Food." And she said, "And there's going to be a nice lecture." And I said,
Mhm.
"Sounds great." So I walk into that room, and there's this guy in the corner playing guitar, which I love musicians and especially guitar players. And I just went, "Wow, look at that." And it was James.
Look at that.
And I was like, okay, hot, hot, hot. So then later on, I heard the lecture, and it was about a faith called the Baha'i faith. And it was a wonderful, wonderful faith. And in fact, I became a Baha'i within a month after going to that lecture. And, but I was in line to get some food,
Right.
and James was right there. And I said, "Oh, I really enjoyed your wonderful playing. And I want to just, you know, great musician. I mean, did you write that song?" "Oh, yeah." And I said, "Tell me, are you a Baha'i?" And he said, "Yes, I just became one."
Hmm.
And I said, "Well, is there anything that helped, what do you like about it?" And he said, "Well, quite frankly, I went through a family tragedy. And the faith really helped me through that." And I said, "Oh my gosh." I said, "Can I ask you what that was?" And he said, "Yes, I lost my daughter." And
Hmm.
it just hit me so hard like a wave because
Mm.
I had lost my son a few years prior to that. And so we looked at each other, and he had tears running down his eyes. I was had tears running down my eyes, and we hugged each other because there's a pain.
Nice hug.
uh,
Remember.
there's a pain about that that is just, you can't even experience that. It's just when you've
Hmm.
lost a child, it's burning pain. And so we hugged each other, and there was such a connection. It was a connection of the heart. And
Oh,
so I'm like, "Oh my God,
beautiful.
poor guy."
Mm.
So then I went to sit down somewhere to eat my food, and there was this lady, and I said, "Do you mind if I sit here?" And she said no. It was just kind of open seating.
Mhm.
I said, "Do you happen to know the guy who was playing guitar, James guy?" And she says, "Yeah, I do." I said, "Do you happen to know if he's dating anyone or seeing anyone?" And she said, "Yes, me." And I went,
Oh
"Oh."
God.
I
You're
said, oh, no
That's
problem. I
right.
said, he's a great guy. We had a really wonderful moment in line. You're very lucky that I'm hands off. Great, no problem.
Yeah.
So it was neat that she and James and I started hanging out together because I became a Baha'i too. And so we go to different meetings. And then I started only going to the meetings in Manhattan Beach. And because of that, I didn't get to see him a lot because he'd go to the meetings in Santa Monica. But one day I was at the car wash. This is 5 years later. I was at the car wash and Victoria.
But wait, before you tell this, James, that night, even though you were dating someone, did
Yeah.
you have a feeling like, did you have a spark? I mean, was there something there, but you were with someone else, so you were honoring your relationship, it sounds like. What?
No, I was, it was a very emotional moment at that one time because we had this, like I said, this little energy and this connection right there. And but to be honest, I didn't think too much about it later on as we're going back to Santa Monica. But the woman I'm dating, she said, you know that woman you were standing in line with, she was in front of getting food. I said, yeah. We had like a little moment. She said, yeah, she was asking me if you were going out with anyone. And I said, me, that's right. So anyway, that's what happened. But life goes on. You didn't see. And then we did go to these meetings together once in a while. I would pick them up. I'd pick Vicky up and we would go with Summer. It was her name, Summer. And we would go to these philosophical talks, like she said,
Mhm.
right? And that was all good. But then we drifted away a little bit. And then about 4 years later, this woman and I were having our issues. And like I said, we broke up. And then 5 years later, we ran into each other again. So,
Well, he was at the car wash. He said, Victoria, Victoria. And I said, oh my God, James, how are you?
yeah.
And we sat down and we were waiting for our cars. And I said, so how are you and Summer doing? And he says, we broke up about 8 months ago. And I said, oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. You were such a good couple. And the little devil on my other shoulder went, yes.
Yeah.
So we started dating. And then we started going to movies together. We became movie buddies. And I was just getting kind of frustrated because I felt this incredible energy between us.
Mhm.
And we'd hold hands and stuff. And he wasn't kissing me. So thankfully, I got to see you and you went to your visioning class.
Mhm.
And
Which is right
my
here.
big thing for the visioning class was this is the kiss. And there's a picture of
Jeff Bridges.
what's the guy's name?
Jeff Bridges.
Jeff
Well,
Bridges.
he's
Under this picture is Jeff Bridges that he reminded me of Jeff Bridges. So anyway, this was all about me wanting to get a kiss from him. And
Well, I have a memory, and this is funny because what we do when I teach visioning, I teach usually a different way. A lot of people just throw stuff all together, and you wanted to have a love vision, so you put that to the right side, right? And then I said, everybody say what your vision is, and Victoria said, I want to have a man that has a full head of hair, that loves life, that loves to dance, who wants to travel, and he has equipment that works. That was a prerequisite. Equipment that works. That's what
a
you said.
what? A what?
And everybody was laughing. And she said, I don't know. So I found the picture of Jeff Bridges. And then she said, and there's a guy, that I have in my life, and I want to kiss. So that's where what I do is I go around the room and everybody talks, and then I gather
okay.
whatever their intention is. I try and find the pictures to match what they want, right? So it helps speed along the process. So when I saw you the first time, I couldn't not only believe how charismatic James is, but that he looks so much like Jeff Bridges and it resembles the man. But then right after you put the kiss, then I guess that's when things started getting a little more hot and heavy. I guess I would say.
Right. Well, I
Yeah.
finally approached him and asked him, I said, are we just movie buddies or you like me? He says, oh my God,
Sure,
I don't want to go too fast. You're such a prize. And I'm like, oh, so then our next night, our next date, he said, I have a surprise for you. And he took me out to dinner. And then he said, no, we're going to walk over to the Santa Monica Pier. And I go, what's this about? And so we went to the pier and we got on the Ferris wheel. And as the Ferris wheel started to go around, he started kissing me. And oh my, by the end of the Ferris wheel ride, I said, we got to go get a test.
Yeah,
So we both went to
it was a makeout
out
scene.
of the closet, got tests.
A real good makeout right top of the
We
Ferris
were
wheel.
just, oh my God, it was hot and heavy. It was great. So he gave me my first multiple kisses. And
So James, how did you feel? Were you like already in, like in your heart, you already felt like something was happening?
I really had a connection. I thought I was going to take this slow because I had, besides the relationship with the woman, I had not been in a relationship for a long time before that. So I just wanted to make sure this was going to stick, you know. And so I was thinking, how was I going to do that? And it's like, just keep it slow so it doesn't wear out too fast, you know. So that's why I held back quite a little, you know, just from giving her a good night kiss.
And after that, I told everybody I'm going to marry this man. And they said, come on, you've only been dating like a month. I said, I'm going to marry him.
Yeah. Within 2 years, we got in 2013. We got married.
Yeah.
It's been almost 8 years.
By the way, after we met each other at the car wash by accident, and then he gave me my first kiss, then on Valentine's Day of 2011, he said he had to come by. He had to drop something off. And I kind of knew he was going to propose. But he came in with a 4-foot rose. It was this long. And a ring. And he got down on his hands and knees and asked me to marry him on Valentine's Day. It couldn't be better.
Not my hands and knees. I get just down on my knees.
Yeah, one knee.
One knee. He did the one knee.
Not like a dog or something.
So, but James, I mean, we go out, my husband and I go out occasionally with you guys. You are so much fun. And one of the things that I know about you guys is you plan these really, like, how many years has it been now? How many years has it been since you've been married?
Well, 8 years. We got married in 2013.
Will be 8 years.
8 years coming up in May.
May.
Oh,
and like you said, Renee, we have had a lot of relationships before, quite a few. So this is the last one I'm hoping for myself.
Are you kidding me?
This is it, right? This is it. This is it.
I bought him a star.
Yeah.
You got a star. What was the star representing?
It was a star in the galaxy because we're both space cadets. We love any stories about space and outer space and travel and you know, time travel. I mean, we love anything to do with the galaxy. So I bought him a star for a birthday.
Oh, you mean you bought, like, he has a star up there named after him.
Named after himself, somewhere up there in the galaxy.
Somewhere out there. Now, what would you advise people that are looking for love that, you know, after 50, people go, oh my God. Now, I was an older bride myself. I got married when I was 45 years old for the first time. And I know that right now during, you know, this is the COVID Valentine's, right? This is an unusual Valentine's because last year, you know, the COVID started in March. So this is an unusual Valentine's. So that's why I wanted to bring stories to light of people that found themselves unexpectedly. It wasn't like you were hunting or he was hunting. It was sort of like the energy frequency matched and you remembered it, right? You remembered the match. The same thing happened to me when I met my sweetheart, Joe, who you guys love. And we met when I was in my 20s. And we had that same moment in time where we felt a connection. I literally got a jolt of lightning. And then I thought, oh my God, I'm going to marry him someday. And then 20 years later, I ran into him. So
wow,
that's amazing.
Wow.
Luckily, you did not have to wait 20 some years to meet again. But what tips would you give to people? I mean, James, you were in a relationship, so you stayed committed. You weren't like saying, hey, maybe I should give that girl a call. You stayed in your relationship, played it out, and then ran into her magically. Do you think that was an accident or was there an opening in your heart at that time? Because I think that it's an opening.
You have to try to be open. I think just be open, because when you force these things, you know, when something's forced, it doesn't usually work out. But if you're open and you're moving through life and you're open for a relationship, I think it'll come. I think it will come to anyone because, you know, loneliness is one of the worst things that can happen to you, especially
Yeah,
as you
well,
get
there's a
older.
lot of lonely people, and that's why I tell
Yeah.
people at my flirting classes, my vision classes, I have my vision here. I just wanted to show people, and I'd love, I don't know, you knew that I visioned my dog, my husband, and I show these only because
Uh,
my husband this was the vision of Joe, if you see
wow. Yeah.
a
Yeah.
businessman that is wanted love and was unconditional and ready. And then look, if you look, here's a bed that I had with the tree outside, and you've been in my home.
Right.
I have the white bed with the tree right outside my window. And then of course, there's
Oh,
my
buddy.
vision of my dog, my little.
Yeah.
Oh, that
Yeah.
is the
So
perfect.
visioning really does work because you're using all of your senses, the sense of the heart. You're looking at a photo and imagining a feeling of kissing, or of having a bond with someone, and then you put the travel, I think it was to China, wasn't it? And you went
Japan. Mhm.
Japan, you put a heart, and then you put all these places, and you put, I want to go to Japan. Then she got a trip to Japan, or
Well, I was going for the United Nations. I
yeah.
was on a photo expedition for the United Nations.
I know. Well, she is also the person that designed the cover of my book. And
Beautiful.
their story is in here in the vision board. Your story of meeting each other is in this book. That's how important I think telling stories like this are. So if you have a love story like this, but it's not only how they met, it's how they keep it going. You guys just went through the passing of James's mother, which
Yeah.
was a significant shift in your relationship.
Right.
And many people that are in 50s and 60s were dealing with aging parents, and your mother was what, 100 years old? She lived forever. It was like, mom,
In about a week, she would have been 101. So she was born in February.
that's
Actually,
a
on
miracle.
Valentine's Day, she was born. So
Really.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. She was
Isn't that something?
my mom was her mom's Valentine's Day gift. Yeah.
Oh, isn't that sweet?
Yeah.
One thing
Yeah.
I could recommend to everybody if they have a chance to do a visioning board session with you, I think it really does bring your energy together to really consider what you want. And I think people need to vision what they want, and they will get it if they really vision it. So,
Yeah. And
But
talk
then
about it. Like
I
everything,
think
like I think that, from knowing you, Victoria, I've known you many years. You've always been a very positive, uplifting person.
oh, thank you.
James is as well. You two are like two bubbling, love spreading people, and sometimes when you're like that, I'm like that, right? That's why we get along, right? And Joe is a people person. You guys are people. You spread love wherever you go and joy, and that's why you magnetically attracted each other. But when you have heartbreaks or disappointments or doubts, it kind of puts a shield up that
Yes.
doesn't allow you to go forward. And that is what I teach, and that's what she helped me to design and created the cover of my
We
book.
co-created
mhm,
that.
We
get
created
real.
this miracle, and it's just such a beautiful book of inspiration to help people to get real about what's
Right.
blocking them. And I think that people give up. And when you even said to me in that room, you go, I give up. I don't think I'm going to find someone, who's going to want me. I'm like, look how fun you are. Look how beautiful you are. And he saw that beauty. He
Oh,
saw
yeah.
the radiance. So women love to hear the man side. James, was it when you were broken up, did you say, like, to the universe, or in your religion, maybe you made a wish? I used to wish on the blue moon, on full moons. I would go to the full moon and I'm like, hello, is there anybody out there? If you
Oh,
hear me, I want a man that loves the moon. I want a man that feels like the magic of this. And I met him on a blue full moon,
Oh,
so
that's great.
beautiful.
That's a great.
call in, the whole thing of him loving the stars. So in
Uh-huh.
the processes in my book, I teach people to vision, like to talk about it with other people while I'm looking for someone. I can't wait to meet my future husband, or this year I'm getting married, and I said that to my family right before Joe came. I said, I'm going to walk a man into this crazy Italian family. You're driving them crazy, but I want to toast to my future husband. And everybody was looking at me like I was crazy. And then Joe came into my life 6 months later. So the purpose of them seeing your beautiful energy together and hearing the story is to let them see. And for men, what would you say to men, James, or even you, Victoria, that men should do with women? Like if you see a woman, we're waiting for you to say something. Would you have approached Victoria, do you think, if you hadn't met her in that way?
Well, he did say that he noticed me when I walked in the door.
Yeah, I did. I mean, this time is like a very tough time to be involved with this relationship thing, because no one really knows how to react with this social distancing, but you want to get close, so there's a lot of
It's got to
But
be
that
tough.
is
a lot
why,
of things walk over.
it's important for people to learn how to flirt, even with a mask. So I teach these flirting with life once a month. You should come on them and teach, because you're such a great flirt. Both of you are, actually.
Oh,
But it isn't about picking people up. It's about being open to
Yeah,
life around you. And
right,
life around you has not stopped. We're all feeling
right.
lonely. We're feeling weird. So my big thing is go out and flirt with life wherever you are, Trader Joe's. I have helped so many people meet people while they're out with their masks on, because of them taking a risk, and you guys took a risk to, you talked to him and then you opened your hearts in that moment. I mean, that's a special first time meeting story,
Oh,
really.
God, it was
yeah,
profound.
yeah,
It was, I'll never forget it. I mean,
That
we
is
think our
beautiful.
two children actually helped get us together as
yeah.
well.
There's something about that with
Yeah. We both lost a child, and they would have, by the way, if they'd known each other, they would have been hot for each other.
Well, probably, right?
Yeah.
Now, I've never thought about, I'm sorry, I'm wiggling I moved because that moved me. I have goosebumps, because I do believe my mother slowed my ass down, because I was running rapid dating and I was doing all those events.
Right.
And she goes, when are you going to slow down and find love? And I'm like, Mom, I will, but he has to be special. I knew what I wanted. And as you can see, I wanted a businessman that had a foundation, because I'm the little flying around, trying to spread love everywhere. And when I met him, he was from my hometown. So because my mother passed, I ended up meeting him. So those type of stories, like you meeting him and then having that bond of two spirits that you both lost, bonding you together, is sort of a sign that maybe they were above you, making that happen. I really truly believe that. I do.
Right. We definitely believe it. That
yeah,
they
yeah,
said, we see that you're lonely, and
yeah.
we want to help you. And I think they definitely. Hold on a second. I think I will.
Bless you. Well, it's interesting, James. I think, with your mother, the way you loved your mother, and you and your brother took care of her, I think that, it was really, at least when I was with Victoria, she would say to me, he loves deeply, like you love deeply and care deeply, even when it's difficult. And you met my dad when he came out. Oh my God, he was
Yeah.
very ill, and then he got well, and Victoria and you got to share some moments, fun moments with him. But there is something about that spiritual connection, even though they're gone, like that she appreciates all the love and all the love that you guys gave to her while she was alive, and your devotion. Victoria used to talk to me about your devotion to that, and it
Well,
Yes.
I can just imagine how many people have gone through this where they can't visit their loved one.
yes.
Their loved one is locked up in a you know in a assisted living or whatever,
Yes.
and you know they pass away without even being able to say goodbye.
You get they just touching hands through the glass,
Yeah,
where my father lived, at the Little Sisters of the Poor, which you guys have wonderfully helped us with over the years,
yeah,
supporting them. They had the kids and the grandkids outside of the windows. There was pictures that they sent us.
yeah.
I
Very,
I mean,
know.
very.
but your love is inspiring, and so now that you've been together, people always ask me, I've been with Joe 18 years, right? How
Wow.
do you keep it spicy, baby? Give them a couple spicy tips at the end here. And connected the way you are.
I think, open yourself to fantasies.
Mhm.
Yeah. You got to play
We
a
do
role
a lot
model,
of
a role
fantasy
model. So,
role playing and fantasies.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
And
fun.
Have date nights out when, not,
we used to have
yeah.
date nights 3 nights a week because that's the only time we were together because
Yeah.
he was
It was a
living with
unique
his mom.
situation. Yeah, actually, I was staying with my mom. We were married. That's very, very rare in a lot of
Yes.
ways. But
Mhm.
so when we were together, it would be like, like date night. It would be, I always play like I was courting you again. You know what I'm saying? So got to keep it alive that way.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes,
So, right?
and I really love this man. He
Uh,
is, I've had a lot of wonderful men in my life. Well, not a lot. I can count them on one hand, but where there was really love, and this was the best love ever. And he loves me as much as I love him,
Yeah.
which is also
It's a
a
balance,
beautiful
right?
thing.
It's a balance. When things get out of balance, that's tough. When someone loves someone more than the other person loves, it actually kind of sets the relationship on a bad course. You got to stay even that way.
Yeah, that's true. Well, before we sign off, I love hearts and people give me hearts, but this is the heart that I use when Joe and I get out of balance because we went through deaths and we went, over these last 3 or 4 years, we lost my father and his parents and so many, challenges. And sometimes when you're so emotional, you're not totally connecting. So we use a heart as the symbol of us knowing that we want to connect heart to heart. So I love, that's why when I give the hearts, hey buddy, do you want to say hi to your friends? We have my little buddy here. He's our other little heart centering buddy here. But those are some of the things that we do to stay connected during stressful times. And these are stressful times. But the whole purpose of this is to show people that love does exist. It happened magically and it can happen during COVID. I have helped so many people open up online.
Good.
And my
Good.
cousin, my crazy cousin, was doing parking lot dates. She's like, I am not staying home. She was on Bumble. Let's meet in a parking lot. Let's see if you look like yourself. Go direct, like you guys were pretty direct. Oh, are you still seeing that woman? No, I'm not. Make a move, especially now. If you see somebody that is giving you a sparkly eyes at Trader Joe's, say, how are you doing during COVID? That's all it takes at this point. But to hear your story after all this time, that you're still making that magic and during COVID, it makes everybody appreciate love, like your love. I don't know about you, but Joe and I have gotten closer during this time.
Oh, definitely. And one thing I
Yeah,
would like to say, and we've decided this is the most important thing when you have a good relationship, never ever go to bed mad.
Yeah.
You have to talk it out, whatever it is, how small or how big. You have to talk it out before you go to bed, because if you go to sleep, it it propagates.
Ruminates.
It
It
becomes
becomes like a
much.
little
That's,
thing.
yeah.
Yes. So that is the most important thing, I think. Don't you agree?
I agree. And also,
We've never gone to bed mad.
we have a thing where we have to kiss each other when the full moon's out.
Oh yeah, we
We
always
have to
kiss
go
each other in the full moon.
outside with nothing blocking the moon.
Right. Nothing in
Nothing
between us and
blocking
the moon.
We've done that actually. So this
In fact,
a
our
lot of kissing going
Every
on.
night or full
No,
moon?
no, just the night of the full moon.
full moons, we
Yeah,
always
yeah.
kiss in the full moons, and
It's a
we
lot of
always
full moons.
plan our trips that it has a full moon. So
Yeah.
the third night we're in Sedona, we're going to have a full moon, and it's
Gotta do
going to
that.
be the snow moon.
Little things like that.
Those are really important to me. Like the full moon to me is a thing. Buddy even likes to look at the moon. We go out.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah, he looks up.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
he loves the moon. And so, when I remember the full moon when I met Joe, I said to my cousin, I have to go to that restaurant. I was 3,000 miles away from home. And that moon, I said, I have to go to this restaurant so we can see the moon over the bay, which was a place that I used to go to pick up men when I was single and lived in Delaware, right? So I went there and there Joe was, and she's like, oh my God. I said, I'm going to see somebody there I know because I was just on television doing
Uh-huh.
speed dating, rapid dating in my hometown. And he saw it in the paper and we magically met. And it was, I said, out of all the nights for
I
me
Uh-huh.
to
know.
see him on a blue, not only a full moon, but a blue moon, and that only happens every 20 years at that particular time of year. So I do believe in the magic of, visioning, but more importantly, sharing your love story. You can see how they sparkle. It's really adorable. So any final words? Any final words? So you got the kiss before you go to bed. We do 3 kisses,
Yeah.
which means I love you. 1, 2, 3. And if we don't kiss, I go, wait, we forgot, and we always kiss, and we do the same thing. If we're mad, we get up and talk about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the heart is sort of the symbol that we need it. We need to get connected because we have had a lot going on. And then recently almost losing our little dog was really something.
Yeah. Yeah.
But miracles abound. So ask for what you want, and find, if you see a happy couple. This is what I do, and I think you used to do this too, Victoria. If I see people in love, I go over and ask them how they met. So
Yeah.
That's true. I do that.
I know
I
you
do
do.
I'm very open about that. More
Yeah.
so
Open
than not.
about it. So I think that if you ever see these guys in Santa Monica, because they're always out and about doing exercise on the beach, I think, don't you guys do bike riding? I
Yeah.
can't wait till it's warm so we can meet up with you again. You're so much fun and so vibrant. I'll never forget the flamingo dancing night, and then the striptease night where we went to that
Oh
striptease.
yeah.
Oh,
Oh
Now
yeah.
that will
It's
get
wild.
anybody in the mood for love.
Thank you, Renee, for doing what you do. It's
yes,
very,
yes.
very needed in this
And
world.
you are such a love bug. You are just so full of love,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
I love you for that too. Besides,
Well, I'm thrilled to have you in my life, and more importantly, to share your story, because it is very beautiful and it's true. And there's going to be lots more love stories to come. So please spread this interview around, James and Victoria, and I will be as well. And I'm sure many people are going to be inspired by your beautiful faces and the feeling
thank
that
you.
you get from you telling your story. It's adorable and
Thanks.
very inspirational. So until we meet again, have a happy Valentine's Day if we don't see you before then. But we will get together and have a celebration of love during the time that we're back.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks, Renee.
So everyone out there, if you have a great love story, I would love to hear from you. You can even send me your videos and I'll play them. I'm trying to inspire anyone out there never to give up on love. Love is abounding and it can happen anytime, any age. And these guys are proof, and I am myself. Love can happen. Love can happen. So God bless. Let's blow some kisses. Mwah, mwah, mwah. God bless
Bye.
you guys, and we'll be in touch. And
Okay.
anyone out there, check out all of my classes on reneepiane.com. I have lots of fun things coming up. And happy Valentine's, you love birds.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Same to
Thank
you.
you. God bless.
Yes. Bye
Bye-bye.
bye.